Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is the Life Lessons card, Major Arcana, the Great Bear. And we've talked about this here, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's this Great Bear is actually guarding the passage to the cave, and it those who are laid to rest, in this grave are waiting to be reborn and guided by that shamanic portal bear to go to the other side. It's part of this spiritual journey that the Fool is on. Is he comes across all these people and comes across all these concepts, and he's now starting to understand a little bit about where his consciousness is, and at the end of every journey, whether it's a life journey or a project journey or something like that, things have to come to an end. So at this point in time, there is no judgment, going through this. Okay, for, people that get to this point know that there's a rebirth. And the other piece that's in there is the stars above the polar bear, or the shamanic bear. It's the Big Dipper. And the Big Dipper, or Ursa Major, is the doorway to, the other side, to the other world. So traditionally, in the normal red or white tarot deck, this card is known as Judgment. And the Judgment card, shows, dead souls getting reborn, moving on to the other side. And, it represents a calling of righteous souls, okay? And, with what's going on right now with, every country going through and, having, people pass away because of the virus, there's a lot of people grieving over what's going on as well. And, this virus, is hitting everybody, males, females, every race, young, old. And it's not judgmental, okay, in what's going on in life. All right. It's affecting everybody. And, what I want to say with that is we need to be more non-judgmental of what's going on in our world. Maybe within your home, maybe within your state, maybe within your workplace, maybe within, whatever government system, you're in. And what I mean by that is leaders. We voted for these leaders to be put in place to make the decisions. Some of us like it, some of us don't, okay? But that's why we have that free voting system to go out there and do things. And it's our right to go out there and put those people in place. But we shouldn't be judgmental of the jobs that they're doing, okay, based on the simple fact that it was the people that put these people in place. You guys made the decisions, whether right or wrong, to have the leadership that's in power, whether that's a mayor or whether that's a president or prime minister. Okay, elected officials are just that, elected officials. Now, the news media can point out, so-and-so didn't have enough ventilators, and so-and-so knew about this back in November, and so-and-so knew this, and so-and-so. That's what hindsight's for. Hindsight's 20/20. Okay? The problem is we shouldn't let that bias of what's happened in the past cloud our judgment or cloud our thinking to be judgmental of the leaders that are put in power. At the end of the day, those that have passed on, whether they're in China or Italy or France, Germany, United States, the state you live in, the province you live in, it's those souls, okay, that are moving on. And it's those souls that we should be praying for as they move on, for them and their family, okay? Because they weren't being, there was no judge and jury for them to move on. This virus hit them at, possibly the worst possible time for them. We shouldn't be judgmental of, our organizations either for letting us go, okay, or for furloughing us or putting us on paid leave or making us work from home. These are all decisions based to keep you safe, all right, and to keep the organizations alive and kicking for when you get back. You may not like that. You may have, maybe you're lucky and you have a job to go back to, when this is all done. You still got the state to rely on for unemployment. Can't be judgmental of the processes that are in place, because what you're seeing now is a breakdown of the systems. You're seeing a breakdown of the healthcare system that can't handle a situation like this in any state. People are being overwhelmed with this. The educational system's overwhelmed because now how do they get back to that opportunity, to teach kids? The government system is being overwhelmed with all the unemployment. How do you combat this? Okay, I just read an article here not too long ago that they're looking for programmers to help understand code that was written 30, 40 years ago. And that's what some of these systems are based on. Some of these systems are so old and antiquated that it's just like our infrastructure. Nobody's paying attention to what's going on, okay? Putting more money back into things, making sure things are running correctly until, guess what? Something like this happens. And at that point, when something breaks down and you can't get into unemployment, you become judgmental. When you can't, get all of your pay because your company's shut down, you become judgmental, okay? When the government says you need to stay in your house another 30 days, you become judgmental. You start questioning what's happening, okay? When your president or prime minister or whoever it is, elected official of the company or country says, this is what's going on, people become judgmental, all right? You need to take that judgmentality and turn that around to where be grateful for what you do have. You're still alive. Be grateful that you have a house that you can live in, okay, for the time being. Be grateful that companies are out there, letting you not make payments on your house or on your car. Maybe they're being lenient, okay, with what's happening. Companies out there that have shut down based on the virus. Be grateful that you still have a job to go back to. Be grateful that maybe a union's representing you and holding that position. There are some companies out there that, we're going to let you go and, we're not even going to bring you back. The good thing about that is it has to be positive. You have to be optimistic. There's going to be a better job out there for you. This could be one of the best things that's happened to a lot of people. Gets them out of their old whole hum job and puts them more into a job where they like, a job where they love, a job where they can use their skill set. Maybe this opens up a whole new avenue for people, to look at virtual stuff, virtual schooling, get into, doing something like that, virtual networking. Okay, that's some of that stuff's out there, but you see some of these other companies that now are taking off on that. Okay, maybe you wanted to be a driver. Check in with your mail systems, okay? There's opportunities out there where you don't have to, you can be grateful for what you do have and not judgmental of things that are going on in the world, all right? Because this whole virus thing, it's going to change a lot. It's going to change a lot on how governments work, how companies operate, how people get along. Restaurants, bars, what's going to happen with that? Eventually, probably get back to a different normal, all right? But how you survive that change is up to you. And the assessment of, being judgmental and of others is a process of forgiving. By casting that judgment out, first of all, the hardest thing to do is forgive yourself. If you can forgive yourself, you can forgive others. You can forgive your bosses. You can forgive the leaders of your organization. You can forgive the leaders of the country because they're making the best decisions for everybody, just not one person, for everybody. for their countries, for their organizations, for their companies, and you're making the best decisions for your family. Hopefully you're talking it over with your significant other and coming to some kind of agreement, maybe discussing it as a family. All right. The key here is to be honest. Be honest, and in the process of forgiving, knowing that things are going to change. By being honest with yourself, the universe sees that, and the universe remembers that, and the universe knows all. You can't hide from the universe. It's that all-knowing, all-seeing type of stuff. And however we all make out of this with a virus, it's based on you. So don't be judgmental of family members or whatnot. Keep that safe distancing going on, that social distancing. Don't be judgmental of your bosses or the organization, because they're making the decisions that ultimately are best for not only the company but the best for you too. And hopefully your organization still keep you employed. Don't be judgmental of your state and local governments, because they're following what they need to follow to help get ahead of this curve, to help get ahead of this and possibly prepare for a second wave. Don't be judgmental of your leaders of your country, because they're making the best decisions for everybody that's in the country. Same as the state leaders. Everything gets passed down. So change is at hand. Be honest and forgive. Let's not be so judgmental. Let's give more love out there to everybody. Let's give more happiness. Give more joy. I know it's hard. I know it's possible, though. If we all come together universally, and spread that love and joy around to everybody else, that's going to ease the burdens for a lot of people, knowing that the universe here has your back, because the universe knows all. So that's today's card, the Great Bear. Leave your comments down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Share it with others, subscribe, like it, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. This is D for the Spirit's Path. Have a great day, take care, and God bless, and stay safe.